Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Bodcast. Carrie here.
And Ian.
Oh, introduce himself for once. It's episode 29, and so this one is going to be a bit of a review of the Lego year, given, it's nearly the end of the year.
It is.
So where should we start? What's the most interesting thing that Lego have done this year?
I don't know. So I guess one of the big things that has just kind of come to fruition is the Bricklink Designer Programme.
Yeah, so we've just built our castle.
Yep.
If you want to have a look at that, you can find a video on YouTube.
So this is the first Bricklink Designer Programme that has happened since Lego bought Bricklink.
Yes.
So it's quite different to the previous one, only because Bricklink had to source the parts last time, whereas this one it was coming directly from Lego.
Okay. See, I didn't know about the last one, so...
And then, so next year we should be receiving round 2.
Yep, and I guess round 3?
And, well, I'm not sure. The round 3 crowdfunding side of it should happen, but whether it's fulfilled next year or not, I don't know.
And we're not sure still whether they're going to do that again.
No. So again, with 2021, we saw a huge number of Lego Ideas sets going through.
Oh, as in making it through to things, not actually being made.
Hitting the 10k.
Yeah, so there was a massive... Because there's a massive pandemic going on, people kind of bored and nothing better to do, I guess. All that free time. So Lego did really well from the Lego Ideas point of view, but also from a revenue kind of aspect. So alongside them doing really well, do you feel like they've also done really poorly in some aspects? So if you think about the amount of sets that have been out of stock in the US for a lot of the pandemic.
Yeah, they've had a lot of issues.
Is that because they had to close down one of their factories?
I think one of the Mexican factories closed down,
Yeah. But wasn't that at the start of the pandemic?
I don't know whether it's had problems getting back up to full capacity or what, but it definitely seems like they've struggled a lot more over in the Americas.
Yeah, I'm kind of grateful that we're here in the UK, and although we had issues at the start of the year with Brexit, supposedly, and I guess just the same issues, they didn't have enough demand, they were trying to send stuff from Europe over to America to fill that gap. We've not struggled as much as some of our US counterparts have we?
Yep, I guess that's true.
Alongside the pandemic, I guess, have they also been upping their production of things that they're making? So if you look at Brexit over the last... I think it's from about 2017, the number of sets it's listing has gone up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
And this is the highest. There was like 900 and something things.
Yep.
But that also includes all of the collaborations they've done, so all the clothing ranges as well. And that's something we've seen a lot more from Lego, is a lot of collaborations with other parties. So the shoe one, the trainer, Adidas. Target.
Loads of clothing ones.
Yeah. Because what was the other clothing one? There was Hype. Was it just Lego clothing, or did they actually...
They done Levi ones as well?
Levi's, that's it. Yeah.
We've seen plushies and big versions of Lego accessories.
Oh, and they look super cool. I really wish we had those over here. I mean,
Both of
I
those
don't
are
know what we
Walmart
would do with them.
exclusives, is that right?
That's Target.
Is it Target?
Target, yeah.
Okay. I thought one of them was Walmart.
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyway.
I mean, it's hard to know because we don't have
Yes,
either of those
we don't have
in this
either,
country,
so it doesn't really make much
we don't
difference.
know which it is. But that's a very different thing that they're doing, and they also seem to be doing like a lot of less mainstream sets. So the Queer Eye and the Everyone Is Awesome sets, they seem to be trying to branch into more controversial sets, I guess, maybe, or ones where people aren't expecting it, but there's a market for it. There's just all these deals everywhere.
Yeah.
And they've also, I think, just put out like a Matrix set spoiler on, teaser on...
Have they?
The Lego Instagram.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that.
Yeah, so there's like a red brick and a blue brick. It's like, which one do you want?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, is this the Matrix? So there's so many things they're doing. It kind of feels like they're spreading themselves very thin. I think it's that they're trying to make sure that there is something Lego for everyone, not every bit of Lego is for everyone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And they're trying to pull in people who aren't already into Lego. So, they're trying to put out sets that someone walking past a Lego store might see and be interested and go in, or a set that could be sold in other shops that might draw you over to the Lego aisle.
So it's very, very busy. Yeah.
It has. Has that caused some problems? So obviously we talked last week about cancellations and stuff, but we've also seen they didn't hit their stated goals for sustainability either. So this was meant to be the year when they switched to paper packaging.
Yeah.
And so they've
obviously switched. They've prototyped it, or they've had their very first set come out.
Yes.
With the paper.
Land Ambassador set.
But yeah, it's not a mainstream set, so it's just like a trial, it seems, more.
And that still has plastic bags within the paper bags.
Yes.
So they've still not done it entirely. Now, I don't know if that's because they've been busy with other stuff or whether the testing has just taken longer.
Yeah. I guess that you kind of want them to do it properly.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it being a premium toy. We want it to be more of a premium toy than it currently seems to be. So we don't want them to cut corners and at the expense of the build experience, because the packaging does add to the experience. If you can't get the pieces to stay separate, that's going to be a huge issue. If you can't get into the bags without making them fly all over the place, that's going to be annoying. So there is probably a lot of work to do. But have they not concentrated on it enough because they've been going crazy?
Or is it that the team that was working on that went as fast as they could and throwing more people at it wouldn't have helped?
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's the same group of people working on that as designing the sets.
No, that's clearly a different team.
Obviously there will have been some design aspect to it to make the packets look nice.
Yeah, and I think the packets do look quite nice. Someone was saying about the fact that there's all the bricks drawn on it and you could give it to a child to colour in. I thought that was quite a nice idea. I'm not sure how often they would want to colour in those packets though. Oh look, I've coloured one in.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
Thanks. Yeah, that's probably enough. So we've seen some fairly major failures this year. Video would be the main one, which has been... It's not discontinued.
No, but it's on hiatus.
On hiatus while they go and redesign the whole thing.
Yeah. And so that's not due back until 2023, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't see any video next year.
Yeah.
And the video line was not all bad, but it sounds like it was rushed to market when it should have been like through a couple more rounds first. And it just came out backwards.
Yes. I mean, you could see that you had so many people complaining as soon as it hit, and so many of the complaints were legitimate. Some people were complaining for nonsense reasons. Like the fact that the blind bags changed to blind boxes and you can't feel them.
Yeah,
they're meant to be blind. They're not meant to be ones that you feel. It's meant to be that you buy something and it's completely random as to what you get. Yeah. And I understand people being upset about that.
You can see why they're annoyed, but at the same time, it's always been the concept and you've just been lucky before.
Yes. Yeah. And they've tweaked it over the years, haven't they? It was originally... You could tell by barcodes what you were getting or by random bump codes and stuff. And then they managed to get it so that the packaging was identical, but then you switched to feeling. And I think it was I think it's inevitable that they're going to move to cardboard boxes for CMS at some point.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, there's a lot of legitimate problems with it.
Yeah. The fact that you can't use anything other than a modern smartphone and it's aimed at children. The fact that it is...
The fact that there were no sets with the first wave, all of those things.
Yeah.
And those would have been picked up, surely, by any kind of focus group that you did.
You would guess so.
So it does seem like they rushed it out, and that's caused problems. And I think actually the second wave, where you had sets, it was quite good.
It was a lot
if you ignore the app, the wave itself was quite a nice wave.
Those sets were pretty colourful.
They'd trashed the reputation with the first wave.
Yeah. So they've got a lot of work to recover that, and that's why I guess they need that whole year to do it. They are continuing on with like the Super Mario theme, which I hear a lot. Like people think that should just go.
But we spend a lot of time talking to AFOLs.
Yeah, so it's
and
not
the
aimed
Super
at
Mario
us.
theme is very, very much aimed purely at kids.
Yeah.
It is a set to be played with. It is not a set to put on display. And I know a lot of people who have struggled to work out how to display it.
Yeah, because it's not a display set.
Because it's not meant for it,
Yeah.
You've got a couple of people doing interesting ideas to incorporate parts of it into a display. But yeah, for your average AFOL, you're not going to enjoy it.
No, it's not meant for you. So I guess...
So it's really hard for us to see how well it's doing.
Yeah.
All we get from AFOLs is that
we hate it. It's sort of,
we want minifigures.
Yeah, minifigures. And a Peach's Castle.
Yes.
And yeah. I think that maybe that's what's different for us this year, is that we are actually really focusing on the Lego a lot more, but from a completely different perspective. Like, we're not just enjoying it as it's something we want to look at. We are chatting to other people, getting other people's opinions on it, and they are all of the AFOL community. So
yeah,
it's skewing what we hear a lot.
A lot of social media ends up being an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So you end up thinking that the world has a consensus that agrees with you, and that's because everyone who you interact with agrees with you, and that's all you ever see. But
there's so many more people with so many different opinions that isn't in the group you're communicating with. Yeah. How can you get a broader view of how people are feeling?
I don't know. Use incognito tabs and just tell YouTube to play random videos. But then, so another big thing that happened this year with Lego was the ridiculous LAN stuff that went on, where they decided that LAN members weren't allowed to talk about leaks or rumours or speculation.
Yeah.
And then LAN members basically went, well, that's just silly.
Yeah. So that kind of backtracked a little bit to, you can talk about it if someone else more official has talked about it, is that right?
So, yeah, they're now allowed, as soon as it's gone on to an official source. So the main ones are the kind of sites that get stuff out of the database from Lego. As soon as that's been surfaced, they can talk about that. They are now allowed to talk about rumours. They are not allowed to describe leaked photos.
Oh, really?
I think that's still a rule. Maybe it's that they're not allowed to talk about leaked photos at all.
Right. And of course there is more LAN members than there were at the start of the year.
Yeah.
It seems, and a lot of them online.
Yes.
Mainly in the US, we saw
a big push in the US.
Are there many in China? Because obviously that's one of the emerging markets they're really pushing for.
I have no idea. Don't remember seeing many. I went through and looked at the
recognised fan media or whatever it is.
Yeah, the list of them all.
Yeah.
And I don't remember seeing many Asian ones at all. But that could be done in a completely separate way. You know, China has its own...
China land.
Yes. China has its whole separate internet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't remember what the kind of Chinese equivalent of YouTube is.
I have no idea.
It's not Weibo, is it? That's something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. So they may be out there in China, but just not accessible outside of China.
Yeah, fair enough. I had quite a few... I can only think of really the bad things that have happened this year, Lego-wise. I think those are the ones that have sort of stirred us up. So, like, the Ulysses space probe.
Yeah.
And...
The coins.
Yeah.
The stupid way that was done.
And the quality of them. The fact that most of them came, like, crooked in the frames and scratched and things.
Yep. Well, one person was excited. His came with a limited edition free eyelash.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that. Lovely. But yeah, the stock shortages, all of those, LegoCon.
Oh, LegoCon. Everyone's looking forward to that next year.
Oh dear. I think, again, is that just because of the community that we hang around in, that it was not really aimed at that community?
I think no one could work out who it was aimed at.
Well, there was meant to be like an AVOL part to it, wasn't it? And it didn't seem like there was.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
There was the gender bias report.
Yeah. Was that good or bad?
Well, it depends. Have we seen results of that already? The new Lego Friends stuff doesn't seem to have the big heart logo on anymore.
Yeah, so there may be some sort of gently...
Toning down.
Yeah, toning it down, that's the word.
So yeah.
So it's possible. Other good things, I know there's a couple of disasters and things that I've seen that Lego are providing support to.
Yes.
So that's always good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't think of much else. I mean, we've obviously talked about it for 29 weeks. We've been talking about Lego type things.
Yeah.
Good and bad. And that's the thing, we try not to just talk about the good stuff because we are massive fans of Lego, but we get really frustrated with them quite a lot. We're not going to hide that.
We've started to see shows coming back in the UK.
Yeah.
So whether that continues into next year or whether they all end up being cancelled again, we won't know for a little while longer. But it was good to see them coming back and getting involved in those.
Yeah. So after this year, has your opinion of Lego gone up or down as a company?
It's hard. I'd say slightly down.
And how about Lego as a product?
Slightly down.
So you're both not happy with the company and what they're producing?
I think, but they're connected.
Yeah.
I think it's their rushing to cash in on a pandemic, which is affecting the quality.
Yeah. Do you think that is what they're doing? They're trying to cash in on
I don't know.
The fact that everyone is at home building Lego?
I don't know.
Is that seems a little... Well, it seems like good business sense, I guess. But cashing in on a pandemic doesn't sit well for me.
No. But as we said, they have donated a huge amount to charity.
Yeah.
So being able to cash in on a pandemic has given them more money to be able to do that, presumably.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they've done it at the expense of the product in some cases.
Yeah, that's true. So they could have made better decisions along the way.
Yeah. Whether that's a short-term thing and they will rectify all the product stuff as things stabilise, and they've just gone, well, we'll just try and get as much money as we can in the short term, and then those people may not stick around because of decisions we've made.
Or are they saying that loads of people are flocking to Lego and they seem happy with the quality, no one's complaining enough, we'll just stick with this quality?
Maybe.
We'll just mark it as good enough and steal everyone's cash? Doesn't seem so great, does it?
No. But we have seen, records repeatedly being broken on largest sets, most expensive sets.
Have they all been this year? So, like, the world map, was that this year? Or was that the tail end of last year?
I can't remember.
This is the thing.
Things merge.
All blurs into one. It was June.
Yeah.
So that is now the largest set. The Colosseum was before that one, wasn't it?
The Colosseum held the title for a very short period of time, didn't it?
And there's nothing bigger than the world map, technically.
Not in terms of pieces.
No. But price-wise, we've obviously had the 8080.
Yep.
Which is that the biggest, or is the Millennium Falcon or the Star Destroyer, whatever it is,
it depends how you measure size, doesn't it?
Price I'm looking at.
Oh, price.
Most expensive. Is the 8080 the most expensive?
Yes, the 8080 is the most expensive.
And is that something that we should worry about, that eventually we won't be able to afford any of the Lego? Or is it again back to the theory that there should be a Lego set for everyone? Not so every Lego set should be for everyone.
Stupidly rich people can go off and buy
Titanics galore.
Titanics and 8080s and have some
put their 8080s
weird
on the
8080 versus Titanic battles.
Maybe if you make the 8080 in white and say it's like an iceberg.
Yes.
Although I feel
the 8080 berg.
That would be a 8080 berg. You'd have to like completely bricklink that one, because there's no white parts in that.
No. Or just spray paint it.
Sorry. I don't.
Took you a while to.
Yeah, I don't deal well with people.
There.
Yeah, I don't deal well with people who like paint Lego. A lot of people do it. Like you see a lot of videos making them more accurate to things.
Yes.
So recolouring them, and it does look quite cool. But it's like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, I think that tends to happen more for minifigures rather than entire sets.
True.
I think you would probably just buy the parts in white.
I think in one of the Christmas mocks we saw at the show, the Coca-Cola van that we saw, that was the big yellow van. I don't know if they painted it or whether they had just replaced the parts.
I would assume they'd just replace the parts.
You should never assume, Ian.
True.
So, 2022. Should we discuss that next week?
Yeah, we'll talk about 2022 next week, I think.
Okay, so review of 2021, not all good.
No.
Some amazing sets, though, which we will be discussing our top 10 2021 sets on Friday in our video.
Yes.
So
because we thought a podcast is a bit...
Yeah, it's more visual, looking at the sets. So this was more a review of Lego as a whole.
Yeah.
And if you want to see our 2021 top 10s, then come back on Friday for that. Right. So if you want to leave a comment below or on Instagram about what you thought of Lego this year, whether you've come out feeling better about them as a company or about the product or not, as we have.
And have we missed any major
and anything that we forgot about?
Because the years are just merging. It's hard.
Yeah, because there's no significant events outside of Lego. Like, we're at home all the time. It's just the same.
Yeah.
It just kind of merges into one. So it's tricky. But yeah, let us know and comment. And if you want to catch any of our previous episodes, then you can do that over on YouTube as well. So I'll link that up now or put it in the show notes. And make sure you come back next week for our 2022 Look Ahead podcast. Right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.